Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge into your source material to extract the most compelling insights, leaving you instantly well-informed. Today, we're embarking on a truly magical journey, a deep dive into the enchanting yet perilous worlds woven by V.E. Schwab in her Shades of Magic series.
Yeah, and we've got a lot to draw on here. The books themselves, of course, the audiobooks, a really rich tapestry. Our mission, really, is to figure out how these multiple Londons can even exist side by side. And, who gets to travel between them. And maybe most importantly, what's the cost? The personal cost, the global cost of power when it's not kept in check. You're about to discover a universe where things you think you know become, astonishingly strange. Makes you ask, what does magic really show us about ourselves?
Okay, yeah, let's unpack this. So our journey starts with the core idea of this world Schwab built. It's not just magic, it's these multiple realities doing at once. Just imagine for a second that London, or, your own city, wasn't the only version of itself out there. The books describe this fascinating concept. Multiple Londons. Each one's got its own vibe, its own character, but they're separate, magical barriers apart.
Exactly. 4 distinct realms, actually. Each one is kind of a metaphor for how magic, or the lack of it, shapes the whole society. First up, there's Grey London. It's described as, mundane. Magic's forgotten there. Think dreary, normal London. You can taste smoke on the air, pickpockets, that kind of. And this is where we first meet Lila. She's totally outside the magic at first.
Right. And then completely different, you've got Red London. This place is vibrant. Magic flourishes there, it says. It's like woven into the lands. The Isle River isn't just water. It's described as a vein of power, an artery, glittering like a jewel lit from within.
Mm-hmm. And the Palace Sona Rast isn't just a building. It's the beating heart of the city, sort of the center of its magic, its government. And you get these great scenes like the night market, bustling with street mages, doing fire tricks. It feels alive.
Okay, then there's White London. That sounds chilling.
Oh, it is. Here, magic is bitter and mean. It's like it's bleeding the world dry. Life and warmth and color are gone, leaving this pale and bloated corpse. It's a city defined by this constant, really brutal fight for power. Even the castle has these knife-like spires. Just screams desperation, consumption.
Wow. And the last one, Black London. That's the really scary one.
Definitely. It's basically a ghost story. Mm-hmm. A whole world just consumed by magic. Power that devoured bodies, minds, and souls. Mm-hmm. It's the ultimate warning, right? This is what happens if magic just runs wild, if that Jai you mentioned earlier is just pure destruction.
So each London isn't just a place. It's like a statement on how societies handle power.
Exactly. Grey London's complacent. Red London's found a balance. White London is just greedy consumption. And Black London, that's self-destruction from ambition running rampant.
That's a pretty intense setup. So how did they get so separated? And crucially, who can actually move between these worlds?
Right. So bridging these gaps falls to these really rare individuals. They're called the Antari. They're blood magicians. Unique. They're the only ones gifted with the ability to travel between the Londons. Like literal gatekeeper.
And Kell is our main guy here. He's got that distinct look, right? One blue eye, one completely black eye. Pure magic.
Yeah, it's almost like a visual sign of his nature being part of 2 worlds in a way. He can speak to blood, to life, to magic itself. But he's not just a traveler. He's also a smuggler of trinkets between worlds.
A smuggler. Not for money, though.
No, exactly. The sources point out money changed between the worlds, so it wasn't worth. Kell's playing a different game, he says, something that matters. Which is interesting, right? Even with these huge magical barriers, that human need for connection, for things that matter, just finds a way through.
And how does he do it? The travel, I mean.
He uses his own blood and specific items, these tokens, like that knife you mentioned, the one monogrammed with K and L. He uses them to literally carve doors in reality. He deals with collectors described as wealthy and bored, or sometimes enthusiasts who are more troublesome. People whose desire to use magic felt so much closer to treason. It shows you the line he's walking.
So he's kind of a rogue element, even though he works for the royals in Red London.
Absolutely. And you have to remember, the Londons were sealed off for ages, specifically because of Black London, to stop magic spreading like that. So Kell's ability, it makes him vital to Red London, but also potentially incredibly dangerous to that whole balance.
Okay, now let's switch back to Grey London. We meet Lila there.
Right, Lila Bard. She's sharp, a survivor, a thief, a pickpocket. Dreams of being a pirate captain. She has this view of the city. No good parts, only smart parts and stupid parts. Very pragmatic. Her story is all about colliding with this magic she never knew existed.
And that collision happens pretty dramatically, doesn't it? She picks Kell's pocket.
She does. And she ends up with this mysterious black stone, her first real brush with magic. And what's great is her reaction. She's not terrified. She just thinks, okay, clever magic is more dangerous than bad any day of the week. It just nails her character perfectly.
She adapts fast, starts figuring out Kell's weird world. But there's more to it, isn't there? She's not just some ordinary human who stumbled into this.
There's a hint early on. She can see the ghosted echo of his door on a wall after he travels. Something most people here couldn't see.
Okay. So that's a clue. Like, she has some kind of latent ability, some connection waiting to be unlocked.
Exactly. It suggests she was maybe always meant to find this world, this magic. It sets up her whole arc beautifully.
And that black stone she lifted.
Wow.
It's obviously important.
Hugely important. It's not just a rock. It's a relic from Black London, described as black as Kell's right eye. And it apparently sang in his hand a low, deep vibration that called on his own power like a tuning fork. It's basically concentrated, dangerous power from the world that destroyed itself.
And Kell knows it's bad news. He didn't trust the stone, didn't know how to control it.
He flat out tells Lila it's worth your life. He gets that it could literally tear down the wall itself, tear reality apart. It's the ultimate unstable element.
The ultimate wild card, yeah. And of course, someone else wants it.
Naturally. The rulers of White London, the Dryan twins, Athos and Astrid, they desperately want that stone. They see it as their key to breaking the barriers, extending their dying world's influence, basically consuming other Londons like their own. Their ambition is a direct echo of what happened to Black London, a constant threat hanging over everyone.
So we've got these huge stakes, multiple worlds, dangerous artifact, but the story also gets really personal, right? Especially with Kell and his brother, Prince Rye.
Oh, absolutely. That bond is central. It really dives into sacrifice, the personal cost of magic and power. So when Rye gets fatally wounded, Kell does something drastic. He uses his own blood magic and the power of that black stone to basically tie their lives together. A life-sharing spell.
And that leaves a mark, literally.
Yeah, a physical mark. This black symbol made up of concentric circles appears over Kell's heart. It's this profound act of love, of sacrifice, but the consequences hit immediately.
Yeah.
Hard.
How so? What happened?
Well, Rye starts feeling everything Kell feels. His weariness, his pain, even pleasure, anger. Rye himself says he's siphoning off Kell. It's this deep physical link, but it's draining Kell constantly. He feels like, and this quote is powerful, like he were nothing but a bruise.
Wow. Just constantly carrying that pain.
Exactly. It really hammers home the cost of that loyalty, that sacrifice. And you see another side of binding magic with Holland, the other Antari. He's essentially a prisoner in his own body.
Bound to the White London rulers.
Yes. By this silver circle clasp. It's a binding spell that never fades. It explains why he's so cold, so dark. He apparently used to be full of fire, but this magical servitude just broke him. It makes you think about all the different ways you can be trapped,
Yeah, definitely. So as the story goes on, the world keeps expanding. More magic users, more history comes out.
Right. We learn about the Enchanted. It's this big elemental magic tournament in Red London. Kind of like their Olympics, but magical. Hugely important for status and proving skill. And this is where Lila, using a fake name, enters and actually competes against Kell and defeats him using magic she's just starting to learn.
Whoa, okay. That must have shaken things up.
Big time. It's a massive moment. Shows her power is real, she learns incredibly fast, and it just shatters everyone's expectations of her.
And there are other connections revealed too, right? Something about Rye and a pirate.
Yeah, Alucard Emery. Charming pirate captain. Turns out Rye was 17 when he fell for your captain. And then Emery broke his heart.
Yeah.
And Kell, being super protective of Rye, basically told Alucard if he ever set foot in London again, I would kill him. So, adding more drama and history there.
And Lila's own magic keeps growing.
Exponentially. It's almost explosive. She goes from seeing echoes to being able to summon fire with her fingertips. And eventually she actually becomes an Antari herself. Her mark is different, though. A shattered, two-toned eye. It reflects her unique path, kind of linked to Holland's legacy, but definitely her own thing.
Okay, so all these personal stories, the magic, the politics, it all leads to a final massive threat.
Yes. The ultimate threat. Osiron, the Shadow King. We heard about Black London being destroyed. Well, this is the entity behind it, reawakening.
So Osiron isn't a person.
No, it's an Oshok, which is described as not a god, but magic in its natural form, that somehow gained self-consciousness, motive, desire, will. Holland actually awakened it. It's what consumed Black London, turning it into that ghost story. Pure, raw, sentient magic chaos.
And now it wants Red London.
Exactly. Threatening to do the same thing all over again. This forces some really desperate measures. They end up having to put the entire city to sleep using this huge spell, led by Tyrion, the head priest. It's a massive gamble.
And Rice steps up here.
Big time. He shows incredible leadership. He literally watched over his city as it slept. And even though that life bond with Kell makes him super vulnerable, he confronts Osiron directly. His line, "I am already dead," it's this incredibly powerful symbolic sacrifice for his people. It completely redefines him.
Wow. So through all of this, Kell and Lila must change a lot, and their relationship too.
Immensely. They both go through huge transformations. Their bond deepens way beyond where they started. Lila goes from that gray London thief to a pirate, a world traveler, and yeah, a powerful Antari. But she keeps that pragmatic edge. Views like killing gets easier or clever magic is more dangerous than bad. That shapes how she uses her power.
And Kell? What about him?
He's wrestling with his identity the whole time, feeling like a possession of the royals, carrying that constant pain from the bond with Rye. But his dynamic with Lila, it shifts from, captor and captive almost, to this really strong, unspoken connection, built on shared danger, shared moments of vulnerability. They kind of become each other's anchors.
And wasn't there something about a map? Lila's map?
Ah, yes. Her map to anywhere. This old parchment she stole back in Grey London. It had no names, no places, nothing but land and sea and promise.
Kell ends up taking it. And it feels symbolic, right? Not just about freedom, but about all the possibilities out there, beyond the Londons they know, maybe hinting at a future together, more journey. So wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway here, this deep dive into Schwab's world? What does it leave us with?
Well, it digs deep into identity, sacrifice, and what power really does. There's that line, magic itself is a pure and steady source like water. But it's the people and the world they shape who are the conduits of magic, determining its nature, coloring its energy the way a dye does water. The whole series forces you to think about how choices shape power's very nature.
Right. Which leads to a question for you, listening. The characters here, Kell, Lila, Rye, Holland, their choices, their loyalty, their ambition, their sacrifices, and they literally color the magic around for better or worse. So, in your own world, with your own abilities, your own choices, what kind of dye are you adding to the world's magic? Something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. We hope this deep dive gave you maybe a new angle on the power of stories and the magic we can find in our own choices, sometimes in really unexpected places.
Until next time.